Joe Piscopo is next on AM970. The Answer.
Man, I get deja vu right here, baby. I've been thinking of Howard 100 years ago. I had the babysitter with me, and Jackie took no prisoners.
I still tell stories of you, Piscopo. We're in a first-class cabin flying to Los Angeles, and we're all eating like pigs and drinking and being crazy. And you're sitting there with your wife, your girlfriend, whatever she was at the time, and you guys ordered a steak, and you ordered ice cream with whipped cream and chocolate syrup and everything. And you guys were on a diet, so you were cutting into the steak and smelling it, and then taking the ice cream and smelling it, and taking the whipped cream. I said, what are you doing? You weren't eating it. You were taking sniffs of it. I said, this guy,
Howard told this story not too long ago.
Really?
Yes, he told the story. It's funny you remember that because we were working out. I was doing something for GNC.
I think it was called the stupid diet.
Yeah, and I would do this. Because I talked to Stallone, and I went to Sly. I said, Sly, how do you stay so ripped? And he goes like this, Jackie. He goes, fish and rice. Fish and rice. It was like, I said, oh, I get it. So it's all diet, right? So I'm going to go diet. So I went diet. Now, I'm going to be like tough guy. I'm going to be a tough guy. And this is, by the way, under the career title of What Was I Thinking, right?
I got a few of those.
You know, So we would put the ice cream in front of us. I would watch the sundae melt. We wouldn't touch a bite. But they were paying me kind of to stay in shape.
I wanted to dump it on your head. So, everybody asked me. I got this book out, okay?
Yeah, come on. Right
I
there
got
on
this
the camera.
book out. The Joke Man, Bow to Stern.
Oh,
and everybody,
beautiful.
The first thing people ask you is your family funny? Do you come from funny? And you knew at some point my parents had to meet Howard, right? And very, very early on,
Lord.
the whole gang came out to my house for a 4th of July party. My parents are sitting out in the back.
Gary was there, Fred, the whole team?
Gary, Fred, Robin, right on down, and Howard, everybody. And I said, come on, you got to meet my old man. And to this day, he died without me ever asking him. I don't know whether he said this off the top of his head or whether he had it in his holster waiting. But I walked Howard back to my father, and I said, Howard, this is my father. Pop, this is Howard. My father reaches out to shake his hand and says, so nice to meet you, Mr. Cosell. And Howard looks at me and goes, that's your father, all right. You could not make that up.
I know. Oh, man. But you were, people don't know. They know Howard on the air. Howard off the air is a mensch, a regular guy, down to earth, very, very warm, very grounded. And and you guys always got along, but you were a mainstay early on. And you know what I remember? I swear to God, correct me if I'm wrong. He did a Channel 5 show. Look at him digging in my brain now.
Wow, nobody knows
Leslie
about
West.
that. Yes.
Leslie West was on the show.
Leslie West was
Mountain.
the band leader. Steve Rossi was the announcer.
Oh my
Alan
God!
and Rossi.
Oh my God! You're right. And then you literally stayed under the desk.
Under the desk,
and handed
passing
Howard, Howard all the jokes.
I didn't even put that in the book because that is not believable.
Yeah. I remember. I said, "Where's Jack?" I didn't know. And you really, because we didn't
I
have
was literally
texting.
under the desk.
No, we didn't have texting. There was nothing communicating. Boom, and you would get Howard all the material.
Handing it up. Oh,
so
God.
when you left, it was all on good terms. You just wanted to say,
Yeah,
'cause these hours are nuts,
I wanted
Jackie.
more money. Listen, you told me before you've been doing 4 years. I did it 15. We went to mornings, and after 2 or 3 days, I was cross-eyed. And Dave Herman, who had a sad ending, and he's gone. But Dave Herman had been the morning man on WNEW for 25 years.
Right.
And I saw him in the hallway on about the 3rd day, and I grabbed him and I said, Herman, I don't know what I'm going to do. When will I get used to this? And he got this stupid smile on his face and looked at me and he said, you'll never get used to it. Well, you couldn't lie to me and say, give it a week, you'll be fine.
They say it's unforgiving, the morning hours. That's so crazy.
To this day, I laugh at my alarm clock. So you brought up Dean Cain.
Yeah.
The Stern movie became #1. We're out in Los
Love
Angeles.
this guy, Alcy the best, Jackie the best. Look at him rolling
We're
like
out
this.
there
man.
for the
Love it.
biggest premiere. We're #1 in the country. We're at the Sky Bar, and it's me and Stuttering John and Gary are hanging in the Sky Bar with George Clooney, John Stamos, and Dean Cain.
Wow,
and
man.
they're as excited to be with us as we ought to be with them, and it's unbelievable. So after we're drinking and fooling around while Dean Cain and Clooney make their way over to the top of the stairs at the Sky Bar, kind of to herald in all the beautiful girls that are coming up the stairs, and they're hitting on him. And Stamos looks over, and he turns to me and John and Gary and goes, look at those poor broads. They can't make up their minds. Superman or Batman? Superman or Batman? that story to Dean Cain a couple of years ago. He went wild.
You know, and it was interesting to see because I was part of that too, the Howard history early on, and you really started it all. So you were the foundation of Howard Stern. I think Howard would acknowledge that.
I helped.
No, you were right there. You were right there. Then he makes the transition to films. And see, I knew because I knew he was a Mencheva guy. And don't forget, when he was on NBC, you weren't with him when he was on NBC.
I was on 1 day a week at NBC.
When he came from Washington.
From D.C., after he had been here a couple of months, I had sent him my records. So I was on 1 day a week for free for 3 years.
Oh, my God.
Finagling my way in and, passing a few notes here and there and making myself.
But when I met him, Jackie, with Howard, and forgive me, you got to, it's like your history. It's like when they asked me about Saturday Night Live.
Joe, you're 79,000 years old.
I know, but I remember we got an in-house memo from NBC. We have a new radio announcer, Howard Stern. He would like to have any cast member come down. So I had the show set up at NBC. So I look at this. I go, well, Howard Stern. I heard about this. Like I'm a radio geek,
right.
So I go, let me go down. I'm the only guy that got. Eddie wasn't going to do it. No one else was going to do it. And I had such a good time with Howard, busting chops. He wrote the book.
So you're glad you went?
Man, it was great. And then the whole Kimberly thing and everything. You got to let and Fred doing my impression of me singing Kimberly. Come on,
I got a text Fred.
Come on,
Kimberly! Oh my God! Oh, just so much fun.
But you were really built that foundation. So now you got this book. Do you talk about Howard honestly?
Yes. Well, the first say 30% is just me, and then 70% is like stories like the Dean Cain story. And the Cosell story. It's Howard Stern stories, but stories about me. And it's everything. And the great thing is it's a time capsule because everybody that was huge fans of the show, as they're reading it chronologically, I know where I was when the E! Show happened. Oh, I know where I was when that book came out. So everybody can spin off. So and the reaction I'm getting is just great. But the hell with the book. I got to tell you a joke. So a guy takes his wife to the therapist.
Oh no. Got your finger on the button
and
now?
The wife says, I'm just not happy. And the therapist undresses her and puts her on the floor and has sex with her.
Oh, okay.
He turns to the husband and says, she needs that 3 times a week. Can you make that happen? He says, well, I can bring her Monday and Wednesday, but Friday I play golf.
Great. We are so appropriate. I said with Jackie coming on the show because you could still walk the line and you're working every night, by the way.
Oh, not every night, but I'm working a lot. My friend Ian Carr is here shooting there's a documentary coming out. I'm in a great sitcom pilot that's about to get. I'm almost. It's funny. I'm 69 years old, but I tell everybody I'm 70, so I don't have to explain that I'm not making a filthy joke by saying I'm 69. But I'm in this great sitcom pilot called Shoot Me Nicely. And this guy, Elias Plagiano, wrote it and directed it. And we're about to get picked up. But one of the stars is Linda Hamilton. And a week ago, they announced that Schwarzenegger and James Cameron and Linda Hamilton are making a sequel to Terminator. It's like God came down out of the hot, So I'm 70 years old and I'm going to get rich just in time to die.
You look good, man. You look good. Tell me about your personal life, Jackie. Married still?
I was married for 20 years, and my ex-wife, Nancy, lives 2 doors away from me. And my gorgeous girlfriend, Barbara Klein, me and her double date with my ex-wife and her boyfriend.
Stop it.
And she's she was one of my best friends. She was maybe my best friend or one of my best friends, then came and started working with me, and then we couldn't resist each other, and then we got married, and we made all the money and went crazy. But when we got divorced, we were back to being the friends we had been beforehand. See, Nancy's the greatest girl.
You double date like that.
We double, and we had the greatest time.
Oh my God!
And some people say that's great, and other people are like, how the hell? The greatest marriage joke. The wife says, "Get out! Get out! Get the hell out!" And as her husband's walking out the door, she says, "I hope you die a slow, painful death." He says, "So now you want me to stay?"
That's a great joke.
That's the best marriage.
Jackie, the joke man, Martling, man.
See, sadly, that wouldn't work with you, Joe. You couldn't live next
door.
to your
So you're not married. You are married.
No, what's as we're next.
You're taking a break, Joe.
I'm next to you. I think about the days how in love I was with the Kimberly.
Oh, Fred Norris. Oh, God.
He would not crack me up.
Oh, he would say that. You wouldn't even be there. We'd be in the middle of something talking about the news, and Fred would go, "Kimberly!" And I would fall down.
And you know what? This is what I say when they make jokes about the president. They make jokes about this, make that. If you lead with your chin, and sometimes you ask for it, you got to accept it.
Oh,
man.
of
and
course.
what goes around comes around. You're going to joke about somebody else, they're going to joke about you. And I would thought that was so great. But no,
they busted my horns about everything.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
I had
yeah,
CDs out, and I did my gigs, and I sold my stuff, and I told my jokes. And I had my chin. My chin's been out there since I was born. I was born with my chin out, and let them screw with me. Everybody's, they picked on you so much. Who are you going to pick on? Gary's got a fat ass. Game over. You know me. There's a lot to go to work on, you know.
Oh, man.
And you know, people say, well, they ganged up on you all the time. But like Fred, I could go toe-to-toe with Fred. Yeah. Everybody else couldn't. Fred is too brilliant. So, you know, we could have fun. I would pick on Robin. Nobody would pick on Robin. I'd pick on Gary. Nobody, they didn't pick on each other. So I picked on all of them or inspired Howard to pick. You know, we'd be going to commercial, and we'd be sitting there, and Gary'd come in, and he'd walk out the door, and we're just about to go to commercial. And I'd just say to Howard, look at the size of his ass. And we'd be off to the races for 15 minutes. Fred screaming, go to commercial, go to commercial. No, wait, Fred, right, wait. Oh, God.
You know what I used to tell Howard, too, though? He would always walk the line and be on. So I would say, Howard, when we take a restroom break or something like that, and I'd say, Howard, you don't need to get nasty because you are one of the brightest cats I've ever met in my life. Look at him now. He's the best interviewer in radio right now. What he's doing, Howard's doing now. Am I right?
Sure, but there was nothing like the crap that we used to pull.
Yeah.
Nothing like
that.
Yeah,
I was right there. To this day, people will remember back in the day.
Do you know one of the great things of all time is Ringo Starr was going on tour. A Beatle was going on tour. It was the first time since, like, Wings, and everybody's out of their mind. And Ringo did a press conference, and it was an international press conference for 1 billion people. And we used to give Stuttering John questions. And we're listening to it live on the air.
That's
billions
terrible.
of people.
That's terrible.
And all of a sudden we hear the guy say, you know, there's no video. So we hear John Melendez, WXRK, and we're like, oh, jeez. And John said something to Ringo, and Ringo gave the perfect straight line back. And I get the chills right now telling you. John goes, Ringo, what'd you do with the money? And Ringo said, what money? He says, the money your mom gave you for singing lessons.
The worst. You guys, you were so bad.
Oh,
hey, the book. Let me hold it up for you. This is The Joke Man. This is Bow to Stern. This is a great picture, great title. Jackie, I tell you, you're a legend, man. Jackie the Joke Man, Martling, right
love
there,
that.
brother.
Listen, if you want to pre-order it, if you go to JackieTheJokeman.com, the Amazon pre-order page comes right up. JackieTheJokeman.com. I got a book signing in historic New Jersey.
Where you going?
In New Jersey in Ridgewood, New Jersey.
Beautiful.
At Bookends, which is very exciting.
Sure.
And then Tuesday at the Book Review in Huntington on October 24th when it's actually coming out, and Barnes & Noble Upper East Side on Thursday. And a place called the Vault at Villa Records. Does that ring a bell with you in Berlin, New Jersey? That's a
wow.
Before,
good for you.
Before,
good for you. Yeah.
Before there was RCA Victor. Victor Records was its own record company.
Yeah.
And so they've got all the old tin types or whatever they made records out of. You know, those big thick discs. And I'm doing a signing there.
Jackie, listen, you're welcome anytime, and thank you. You're a good friend because we said before you came on the air, I said you got to keep it clean because we keep it appropriate on the show.
So, guys on an airplane.
Watch it.
A guy's on an airplane and he looks across the way as the plane's taking off. A woman's breastfeeding a kid. And a couple hours later, they come in for a landing. She's breastfeeding the kid again. He said, "Excuse me, ladies, I couldn't help but notice you were breastfeeding your child on takeoff. And now you're breastfeeding him again on landing. Is there a reason?" She says, "Yes, I breastfeed my child on takeoff and landing, so his ears won't pop."
So
and the guy says, "Damn, in all these years I've been chewing gum."
Oh, with that, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Jackie the Joke Man, Martling.
Thank you very much. Buy a book, New Jersey. I love
man,
you.
you're the best. Love you too,
Thank
man.
you.
If it's happening in New York, New Jersey, or Long Island, hear about it with Joe Piscopo. Mornings, 6 to 10 on AM 970. The Answer.